hello everybody. It's another episode of Hawk Picks. And once again, I'm doing exactly what I was doing in the last episode of Hawk Picks when I recorded it. I mean, not exactly. I did go to St. Joe to meet up with this person to purchase some stuff from them. And then I did last week as well. And now here I am, the third week in a row, going to meet this person to purchase more stuff from them to resell on eBay. But we have been meeting at a different location the last two times. So it's not exactly the same, but it's very, very similar. So I'm being a little nitpicky. But yeah, I'm headed about an hour away or so to go pick up some more stuff to resell. Stuff's gone really well. I mean, got lots of people very interested in these products. I mean, once it starts going and people start buying these things, I got a feeling it's just gonna tumble on down the hill. And like I said, we're moving towards school shopping time. So there's going to be more and more people interested in what these products are and purchasing them for school, for their kids and for going to college and all that stuff. Okay. So it's good products. It's a good deal. And this person gets money from me and is happy to get rid of these things and make some money. And then I make some money off of reselling these things. And so I'm happy as well. And then in the end, we get people who are getting a great deal on these things. If they bought them elsewhere, it would be a hell of a lot more expensive. So they're happy as well. They got a deal on a product they wanted. So pretty awesome deal. It's going really well. Had a real good week, a couple weeks really, in reselling. I'll go through a few of those things as we go through this episode here. And yeah, I mean, it kind of started out when I got back from our vacation, not so super great. And then it just kind of took off, man. It's really wild how that just kind of happens sometimes. It seems like there's no way to understand exactly what's going on or why it's happening that way, but it just happens that way. So it's been really pretty cool, and sold some stuff that's been around a while. Sold a lot of newer stuff that has gone really well, and I know I've talked about some of that. So we'll just pick up right where I left off the last time, and talk a little bit about some of those things. So first thing, for the lowest return on investment, beyond a doubt, it has got to be a Yo Gabba Gabba Let's Visit the Doctor DVD. Yep. I mean, I bought that thing, gosh, I want to say that was in maybe 5 to 6 months ago. So it sat around quite a while. Now, Yo Gabba Gabba has had quite a comeback. My kids loved it when they were little, but it was right towards the end of them being little. So they watched it for a while, but it wasn't like they weren't with it for a long time. So, but it is very popular right now at this moment, and it's kind of strange because we're talking about, 12 to 15 years ago, really, maybe a little bit less, but still, I mean, it's amazing how things kind of make a comeback and become popular again and are worth money again. It's really wild. So yeah, sold that sucker. I want to say by the time it's all said and done, probably only made like $5 off of it. But that's okay, man. I mean, I paid like next to nothing for it. Sold it for a decent amount, and after shipping and everything, still walked away with a few bucks in my pocket. So not too bad. Definitely not upset by any means on it. So, all right. So what's going on with the business? How have things been going? All that jazz. Really good, man. I mean, it's wild. It's just such an interesting ride, because you would think on the weekends, man, you would just sell shit like crazy, right? Because people get paid on Friday or whatever. They go shopping. They get things that they really probably don't need. That's kind of how that stuff works. That's why there's so many sales and stuff on the weekends and jazz like that. But it doesn't really work that way. For me, anyway, what tends to happen is I might get a few orders towards the end of the week, the work week, and then it kind of is cold there up until Sunday night / Monday, and that's when I get sales again. It's pretty wild, but it's kind of been all over the place this last really month. There's definitely been 4 or 5 day stretches where I don't sell a thing. And I talked to my other buddy, and he's had a similar situation. But then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, within like 2 hours on a Friday, I sell 3 things in the morning. It's crazy. It's weird. And the same thing on Sunday and Monday. It'll be kind of dead or whatever, and then boom, sale. It's just really interesting. And I do those offers. Like I don't know how familiar you guys are with eBay, but it has a thing where if people have been looking at a product you have for sale, and they're interested, just viewing it, or if they are watching it to see, if that's something they're going to want to save to buy later, or see if the price goes down some, and then buy it later. That's when you can do a send offer. But it's pretty interesting how it works. And what I usually do when that comes through, if it's something I've just listed, I'm not going to take a huge percentage off of it, because I've done a lot of research already on the pricing and everything, and I know roughly what this product is selling for and how much it's worth and all that jazz, and really what I need to make in order to make a decent amount of money off of something. So I won't take a huge percentage off that first time around. If it's been sitting a while, I'm probably more likely to take more off when I do these send offers. So it may only be 5% if it's something I just listed like today, yesterday, or even a couple days ago. And then if it's been around a few weeks or whatever, I might go 10%. And the most I've ever gone is 20%. And that is for a product that's just kind of annoying me. It's been around so long. And it really should have sold by now. I've had zillions of viewers and watchers, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I'll drop 20% off of it. I did that today, actually, and the fucking thing still hasn't sold. I don't get it, man. Like, it's way below what it should cost. Like, what do you people want? Pull the trigger. It's like I was talking with you guys. There was that Powerpuff Girls videotape, man. The movie Powerpuff Girls. It's been sitting around for a while. Like, how much of a deal do you want on this, man? It's a sealed Powerpuff Girls, the movie, VHS white clamshell. It's God, dude, it's not $50. It's like $15. If you want it so bad and you've been watching it, just buy it. Good God. There's no way I would wait around that long. It's marked lower than what everybody else has it as. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Sometimes it feels like there's no rhyme or reason to how this all happens, right? But I know there is. I get that. It's just weird. It's just weird how it works sometimes. That's all. All right, the next product, as far as money being made, it's not that great, but it's okay, would be, I sold another 4-pack of these Drive-Through History DVDs. So I bought these, I want to say it was was it? Yeah, it was about 5 months ago. And I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. This lady had 3 different sets of these. Now, these are, when I say Drive-Through History, that's the title of the deal, the series. And I had 3 different sections of it. But what it basically is, it is a Christian production. So it's definitely telling this history through a Christian point of view, which, whatever, I don't care. But this one is about American history. Another one is about world history. And then yet another one is about religious history, right? I've sold the religious history one. That one went pretty quick. I mean, within a month or two. and then these other two have been straggling along for quite a while. The funny thing about it is I bought all 12 of those DVDs from this lady, and it was $40 for all 12 of them. I knew they were worth some money. I met her at a nearby location, gave her $40. I think she was asking $60, but I talked her down a little bit. It was a little too much she was asking. So, I mean, really not that bad of a deal. And, yeah, I mean, so far I've easily made back, be way beyond what I paid for these originally. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. But I sold another one of those. And by the time all is said and done, I've paid for shipping and fees and all that stuff. I'm walking away with about $20. Not bad. Not bad. That's what I like to try and make, at least $20 off something. I usually won't even buy something if I'm not going to make $20 off of it. And when I think I am not going to make 20, I'll put it in a lot. So like I bought a horror DVD last week, kind of a rare horror film, but it won't sell for a whole lot. But if I have 3 or 4 horror films from around the same time, mid to early to mid 80s, I'll just lot those together and sell them as a package. And that way you can kind of make up for the ones who aren't going to make a lot of money. And you still turn around and make a pretty good profit. I mean, to be honest with you, I want to say those DVDs, that DVD was 50 cents I bought last week. So I can't be complaining too much about how much I'm going to make off it. But again, I wouldn't be making that $20 level that I would hope for. But if I add that to, maybe a couple $1 DVDs and another 50-cent DVD, we're talking about, $3. If I turn around and sell that for $25, yeah, I'm almost making $20 on it. That makes me a little happier. So that's kind of how I do that deal. Yeah, so then the next thing I'll go with, let's see here, probably would be the Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts, Stingers and Zingers. It's a multi-disc pack. I think it has 4 discs in it, 4 DVDs, but it's sealed. I got it. I think I bought that for like $3 at a thrift store way back when we were getting started. I know I had to go look at the 2024 purchase spreadsheets to kind of see when I bought this and how much I paid for it. So I want to say I got it in like December. So we're talking about 8 months ago, right? That's quite a while. But it finally sold, man. And it sold on an offer. I mean, no, it didn't. Actually, I got a deal to do an offer for it. I put an offer out there for it, but someone else who didn't get the offer bought it, which is crazy. I don't know how that works, man. It's been sitting there for 8 months. It's really weird. But again, it doesn't really matter. I made some good money on it. I think I paid, like I said, $3. It sold for $20 with free shipping. So, I mean, by the time it's all said and done, probably made around $10 on it. Again, not great, not really what I'm shooting for, but it is an early purchase, and I was unaware of exactly how this all works. So I still made a profit. I'm not going to cry about it. Yeah, so it's been a crazy week, man. Things have been really nuts, and in a lot of respects, not just with the business. As some of you who've listened to this and listened to the Dad Snark podcast may know, probably about 3 months ago now, not quite, I bought a pair of smart glasses. Now, these aren't the ones with the visual element to them. It's just pure audio. But they're great, man. I've really actually enjoyed them. The lenses and everything, it's the best glasses I've ever had. I mean, just crystal clear. They kind of wrap more around your eyeball, which is awesome. But they look like a normal pair of glasses. I mean, the temples are a little thick and a little large, but that's because there's like 4 speakers, 2 speakers in each one, and like 3 microphones in each one. So it's no wonder they're kind of big. But yeah, I've had them since early May, and we're going into August here. So yeah, almost 3 months. But I've had issues with them. So when I purchased these, They really weren't that much more than regular glasses. I want to say the frames were about, I don't know, maybe $80 more than what I normally pay for frames. The lenses were actually a little cheaper than what I normally pay for lenses. I went ahead and purchased a dock that you could kind of put them on that'll charge them at night. And then I also purchased an extended warranty deal for a couple years for $100 also. So I think I walked away, it was about the mid to top part of $500. So $550 maybe, or a little bit more. And normally I'd probably pay around $4 something for glasses. And I usually get my glasses pretty cheap, you know. But started having issues. The first issue I had, like within a few weeks after buying them, the dock stopped working. Wouldn't charge the glasses properly. Had to resort back to the cable that just comes with the glasses that snaps on there magnetically and charge them. I let them know about that. They were really good. They sent me a return label for the dock I had, and then they sent me another dock. So no problem. That's fine. Things happen. I actually read a little bit about the dock, and so I came to understand that they did have issues with the first version of the dock that they put out. And so when they sent me a replacement, it was the newer version of the dock, which is great. You know, I was pretty happy with that. So that's kind of what happened there. And it was a little frustrating, but it was okay. They got it. You know, everything seemed fine. We went on vacation, and while on vacation, you know, I wore them on the plane. I would wear them all day, every day. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything different with them than normal. So I would wear them every single day. You know, no biggie. They're my glasses. When we went on vacation, I brought along the dock and an extra cable just in case. And the dock stopped working again. So I had a cable with me, and I went to go connect that, and it was doing pretty good and everything. And then I noticed that the cable wasn't charging one side of the glasses, the left side. One of the temples wasn't taking a charge. And I was like, damn it, dude, I'm on vacation, man. Luckily, I brought another pair of glasses with me. Not that I couldn't have just worn them, because you can. They're just glasses. But they're just a little big. They're a little bulky. I didn't really want to wear them if you're not getting any benefit out of them. What's the point? So, so I kind of put them to the side and kind of left them alone and all that jazz, and let it go, and let them know about it, that I'm on vacation. This really sucks, blah, blah, blah. And they said, okay, so sorry about that. That's horrible. And they sent me a new pair of frames. And what they told me to do is I could just pop the lenses out of the old ones and then pop them into the new ones. They sent me a little deal that showed me how to do it. And I set about doing that and getting the new ones set up. And they sent me another replacement dock, and they actually sent me a couple extra cables. Just in case, you know, because I was kind of done with the docks. I said, why don't you just send me a couple cables instead, please? They actually sent me those and the new dock. So I was like, okay, good. You know, that's great. So that's what I did. And it seemed to go okay for about 2 weeks. And then the dock stopped charging them quite so well again. And the cable wouldn't even work. And then the left side again would not charge. And I'm using their power adapter. I'm using their cables. I mean, I can't come up with any cable other than that because it's a proprietary connection. But it pissed me off, man. So I told them, hey, man, once again, here we are, and these frames are not taking a charge. And the dock's not working. And they said, oh, so sorry again, we'll send you another pair of frames. I go, no, I mean, seriously, we're past that now. I think you guys need to refund me my money. And so they came back and said, yeah, we can do that. So if you ship that back to us, we'll send you a label. If you box that, I said, I'll box up everything and ship it back to you. I don't need any of this. And if you ship that all back to us or whatever, we will go ahead and we'll refund you for those frames and for the dock and for the 2-year warranty thing for $100. We'll refund you for that. And so I responded and I said, because I kind of noticed something about that message. And I said, okay, so I think what you mean when you say the frames, you mean the frames and the lenses. Because the lenses were about half of the total cost of this thing, right? And they responded and said, oh, no, I meant exactly what I said. If you note, we cannot refund these lenses as they are custom made for you. And we notified you of that when you originally purchased this product. And at that point, I got pissed. And I said, wait a minute. So I bought this product from you for a lot of different reasons. And one of those was for the AI aspect of it, because I could have these glasses on. I could ask these glasses a question, which would in turn go out to ChatGPT through your Lucid app. Lucid is the name of the company. And it would go to ChatGPT and it would ask the question and I would get a response read back to me through the speakers on the glasses from AI. And that has never worked. That has never worked. Since day one, that has never worked. Now, I did figure out a go-around later on when I got a free 1-year subscription to Perplexity Pro, which is another AI application. But you guys have not fixed that. It's never worked the way you advertise it. And so I'm going to be punished for that because you guys have had to send me 2 different frames, 3 different docks, and it's never worked the way you advertise it. This is not my problem that your product doesn't work. This is your problem. So I think you really need to search inside yourselves and figure out that you need to return all the money I paid you for this product. And I said, unless you can guarantee me that the next time you send me a pair of glasses and dock and cable and all that shit, it's going to work. And I'm not going to have to come back to you guys within a matter of months or weeks and let you know it doesn't work and you're going to have to go through all this shit again. If it's going to be like that, I want a full refund. If you can send me something that's going to work and you promise it's going to work, and if it doesn't, you're going to send me all my money back, then I'll stick with you because I really like these glasses. I really want them to work. I've been touting your glasses, telling people how great they are and all that, and now I feel like a dipshit. I feel like I've been duped because your guys' product doesn't work. So the response I ended up getting was, I can't do this, but I have reached out to superiors above me, and I won't hear anything from them until next week early. But I truly apologize, but I cannot make that call because the rules that I have to follow along with the original contract signed or whatever than when you bought these. And I go, well, you guys broke the contract, not me. I've been more than patient, and so that's kind of where we're left at. Now, I think they will offer to replace these with something and see if it works again. But I don't have a lot of faith in it, man. And if it doesn't, and they refuse to give me all my money back, I'm going to tell everybody on planet Earth to stay the fuck away from them. And I will go everywhere and I will tell people every single social media outlet, everything I can to not buy these and not get ripped off, because you know what? That's part of being a consumer in this country. And that's a risk you take as a company. If you're selling a product that's half-baked and doesn't work as advertised, then you're taking a risk of being bashed when you screw people over for their money. And that's exactly what's happening here. I should not be responsible for any of this. I didn't do anything wrong. All I've done is done things right, using their official cables, their official power bricks, charging these the way they've asked me, doing everything correctly. And I'm not going to be held accountable for that. The other kicker is if they do refund me all the money, it goes back on our HSA card, our health spending account card, which kind of stinks. I don't know if they'll even take a refund like that. But if they do, I'm just going to go buy another pair of smart glasses. I don't know what I'm going to buy. I don't know if I'm going to look at buying a pair of the Evan Realities G1Bs, which actually does have the heads-up display, but doesn't have really audio. So you wouldn't be able to actually take a call. Now, it does have microphones. It can listen to what it is you're listening to, and that's for a couple different purposes. But it doesn't have like the music playback or podcast playback through some speakers. It doesn't have, built-in some of the other things that you may recognize in some of these other glasses. And then there's also the Meta Ray-Ban glasses that are out there. Those are intriguing to me, but a real problem with those is the battery is just so minimal. It doesn't last very long, like less than 4 hours if you're doing a lot of shit on it. They do recharge pretty fast, and they come with a case that you put them in that's a wireless charging case. So, I could probably wing it with them. And they do record video, and they record photographs. I mean, they take photographs. They do have speakers. They don't have a heads-up display. But the rest of that stuff's pretty cool, man. That may be something I'm more interested in. And they're way more reasonable. I actually kind of priced them out with my prescription and everything, and they would be cheaper than what I paid for these, which is knuckin' futz in my opinion. But whatever. So I don't know. Now the Evan ones, the G1Bs or whatever with the heads-up display, those are considerably more expensive. I mean, we'd be talking not quite double what I paid originally for these. So that's kind of a big investment, and I would have to really feel comfortable knowing that these are the right product for me. If you scratch the lens, you're kind of stuck because they're special lenses. They have a coating on them where the display shows up. So you would have to replace the lenses if something went wrong like that, and they're very, very expensive. Frames are pretty cool, though. They look really kind of small and minimal. They're not as thick as far as the temples go because a lot of the technology is actually up front in the actual where the glass is. So that's intriguing as well. There's another company called Solos, which they have some that are pretty cool too. The problem really with theirs, and they're more like what I had, but they do have cameras within them, but they don't take video. They only take photographs. So I don't know, because it would be nice to have them take video. So, I don't know. We'll see. I know I went off a long time there on these glasses and this fiasco, but the biggest reason I'm even really super duper interested in these glasses is not so I can hang around with some friends and ask AI a question and get the answer and tell them my friends the answer, acting as though I knew what it was the whole time. It's not a parlor trick type of thing. It's to use in what we're doing here with this reselling operation. And realistically, ideally, the best thing I could probably hope for is going to be more along the lines of the Evan Realities glasses with the heads-up display, because I could get a readout back on my glasses if I ask AI, tell me about this particular product while I'm sourcing, while I'm shopping for something. I could get an answer back in my ear. Or I could get, in my eyes, right? Now, the Meta glasses will do that as well. I can look at something and then ask the AI, hey, what is this product's market resale value? And it would tell me in my ear. So that's a bonus. And then the Solos would do that too. They have a camera and it would be able to do something similar to that. I don't know. I'm kind of torn there. I'll have to really think about what it is that I'm wanting to do, but I'm going to go with one of those. I like the idea of the Evan ones because of the heads-up display. There's another product called Halliday, which I actually had helped kickstart, but my prescription, it's not possible with their digital readout or heads-up display for my prescription. It wouldn't work well for me. I'd like to talk to them a little more and see if there is a way for that, because those are ultimately the best thing. They actually have all the above, right? They have all of it. They're more like what I had, but with a heads-up display, which is exactly what I'm after. Now, I do like the idea of the camera and being able to look at something, but I also understand it doesn't work very well with at least the Meta Ray-Bans don't. I don't know about the Solos, but I haven't read all the best things about Solos either. So we'll see. I don't know. It's a first world problems. I hate that saying, but it's true. It really is a first world problem. But somehow I'll figure it out, man. If they can come back to me and tell me that, hey, look, we're going to do this. We've got a product that we're looking at. We would do something for you if you would, do some reviews, video reviews or whatever on this. Show yourself using them with what you do. We'll give you some sort of deal and give you some money back or give you 2 pairs or whatever. If they would do something like that, I'd be all over it, right? As long as they assure me that if something goes wrong again, they're going to take care of it and I don't have to get any more ears full of shit on this, because that's really what's been frustrating. Telling me you're going to screw me out of that money didn't make me very happy. And so I don't want to go through that shit again, and I'm not going to fuck around with them if that's going to be the case. So, yeah. All right. Next, return on investment. Top 5 things I'm kind of going through here. Let's see. I did the Yo Gabba Gabba. I did the drive-through history deal. I did the Dean Martin. All right. So let's get to the next few things here that are pretty good deal. There's one that really clearly stands out. But I think I'm going to go with this, and you're going to be like, how on earth can you do better than this one? What's number one? But it's true. I went to some garage sales about an hour and 40 minutes away. I had the day off. It's Juneteenth. I had the day off, actually. And there were a lot of garage sales going on in the town where I went to college my first year. It's in Topeka, Kansas. I don't go back to Topeka, Kansas very much. I've had to go back there because my daughter swims. And so I've had to go back there for her swim meets a few times. And so I've kind of shown her, this is where I lived, my freshman year of college. This is Bobo's Burgers, which, by the way, if you ever go to Topeka, Kansas, you're going to go to Bobo Burgers because it's the best burgers around. And just really a great place. Showed her that, went to a record store there with her. Anyway, that's all the more I've really been back there. But I did notice these big garage sales going on that particular day. So I drove all the way there, and then I stopped off in Lawrence and went to the record store and everything on my way back. But when I went to the garage sales there, I noticed a few things. And actually, these 2 items, number 2 and number 1, were at the same exact garage sale. Biggest returns on investment of anything else. Really, one of them is, I'll tell you about it in a minute. So I had seen something in the ad. They had a bunch of photographs of things they were selling at this garage sale, and that's what attracted me to driving that far. And I didn't have anything to do. I thought it would just be fun. So I drove all the way there. I got there. They still had this product. It is a retro Coca-Cola vending fridge. One of those small refrigerators, you get for like your desktop or something like that. Not the dorm fridges that actually have have refrigerant built into them. These little ones, they're more like run off of fans and cool things down, but they can get your drinks pretty cold. I mean, they do work. It's definitely not as cold as if you had it in a real refrigerator, but it does work. So this is one of those, but it's extra tall and everything. It holds 10 cans, and it actually does a vending option. So you can load it up with 10 cans, and then you can push a button on one of the 5 levels, and the can drops down to the bottom, and you can get it out of the bottom. It's a pretty cool device, and realistically, when I bought it for me. I was going to use it. I also noticed it sold for a lot, so I was like, yeah, I don't need this. I actually have a refrigerator where I work and where my office is. Why would I can walk around the corner and get a real refrigerated drink. But I noticed these things sell for a lot of money. If you go buy this product new on Amazon, it's about $300. Well, it was only $10. I paid $10 for it at this garage sale. And the guy, there was no negotiating. I was like, dude, $10, I'll take it, And the guy who I bought it from, he was really cool. It came with AC and DC cables, so you could actually have it in your vehicle or like at a tailgating thing, or you could have it at home connected. And it's in really great shape. So I went ahead and gave him the $10 for it, took it. I told my wife, look, man, we're going to put this up for sale. And I've had a lot of people look at it. A lot of people were really interested in it. I had it for $150, I think, because it is used and all that. And plus I shoot under a little bit when I can, because again, I paid $10 for it. It's nothing. Ended up, the guy contacted me. He's like, hey, what about 120? And he's local. So I was going to be able to actually meet up with him. So there's no shipping. I would just meet up with him. This is the first time I've ever done that, by the way, through eBay. And so really saves a lot of time and money. He said, what about 120? I thought, man, what about 130? So I figured I'd meet him somewhere in between, and he went for that. So I met up with him. He was thrilled to get this thing. He loved it. I actually had it hooked up in the car, in the back of the SUV, and opened it up and showed him how it worked and everything. And he was really excited. And I picked it up, and it's really cool. If you have something on eBay and you sell it locally, it's a local pickup or whatever, the person who buys it, pays for it, they get an email with a QR code or a 6-digit code or whatever. And you can scan it or enter that code when you go to give it to, when they pick it up from you, when you hand it over. And so he had his email, and I scanned it, and it said, thank you very much. The transaction has taken place, and boom, that was it. I did have to pay a little bit in fees, and he did have to pay some sales tax, but still, what a easy way to do it. Good job, eBay. I'll give it to you guys on that. So that one, by the time it's all said and done, walking away making about $100 on a $10 purchase. Pretty awesome, man. But I was really impressed with how that all works. Really cool. And so basically what's going on now, we're about ready to cross over 500 items up listed on eBay. I still have a few items listed on Poshmark. I don't know. I don't have time to try and work that, Poshmark's a pain in the ass, by the way. If you've not, I would love to talk to somebody who sells a lot of things on Poshmark to get a better understanding of how some of these things work on there. Because mostly I got hit with scams left and right when I started selling. I've sold one thing on Poshmark, and I've had like 30 or 40 things listed on there. I sold one thing, and I sold it within a couple weeks from when I started putting stuff on there. I have not sold one other thing on there, and it's been more annoying than anything. I wanted to probably just go take everything down, but I don't really want to close my account completely. I don't know. I'll see. But I don't really want to sell anywhere else except eBay. I would look at maybe doing some live selling with Dibdit or with Whatnot. I hear the difference really is Dibdit. You don't really have to bring a crowd with you to watch your live selling. People can kind of happen into your live sales video, live stream, and buy things. Whereas with Whatnot, you're not going to do really well unless you have a lot of people following you. So I probably would lean more towards Dibdit. I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea. But when I do that, the other thing I've noticed with a lot of these things is people are on camera when they're selling this stuff. I don't mind being on camera. It doesn't bother me at all. But that's not why people were there. People were there to look at the products that I'm selling and to buy them, right? So I would probably be more inclined to have that on the screen and not me. Now, I would be taking things down and after they sell and putting other things up. And, probably what I would do is have like a clothes rack with the chroma key background, which I would basically key out and put something behind the products I'm selling, or just a white background. I don't know. And then I would just show what I'm selling, and you would hear me talking. Maybe my lovely wife would be there with me, and we'd be discussing what's up there, how much we're asking to start at. I doubt I'm ever going to sell anything for $1. And I know a lot of those places do dollar auctions, and then it goes up from there. And I see so many things that get stuck with paying $1, getting paid $1 for. I'm not doing that. I can't imagine really selling anything under $5. And so maybe that means my store's not going to do very well on this streaming auction style deal, but that's what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna really go any cheaper than that. I'll be honest with you. But I'm not going to do any of that right now because I really only want to sell on eBay. I don't even really like Facebook Marketplace. I did meet this person that I'm sourcing from on Facebook Marketplace, and they've been really great. But I have dealt with multiple people, and you guys all know the story about the board games and the lady. I've dealt with multiple people in situations like that. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And people who are buying from you also, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They'll try and screw you over. And I just thought, don't get me wrong, there's people on eBay and Poshmark and shit that do that too. But I'm not going to play around with people like that, man. I'm really not. I got 100% approval rating. People love what I do. I'm very attentive to customers. I've sold a lot of stuff and done really good. I'm not going to fart around with a situation that's going to give me a headache if I don't have to. So there you go. All right. The number one return on investment product that I have sold since last week we met. Same exact garage sale where I got that Coke machine. There were multiple people selling things there. It was a house, and somebody's sister lived with this couple. And then I think their mom might have lived with them too. But the sister was a former teacher, a school teacher. And so she had a few different things. She was a big collector of Pez dispensers, which is, by the way, that's how eBay got started. A guy had created the website and everything for his wife, who collected Pez dispensers, to trade and sell and buy other Pez dispensers with friends. That's how eBay got started. Go check it out. But I did buy a really cool Marvin the Martian one. It's for sale, by the way. Go look at the store. I'll put the link in the notes. I got a deal on that from her. It's really cool. Still sealed from quite a long time ago. But there was a free tub, a tub of free stuff. A lot of it was books, and that's usually what you'll see at garage sales and stuff like that. Is the free tub usually has books in it, magazines, shit like that. Maybe some broken toys, action figures, loose figures. But I kind of looked in there anyway, and I noticed, holy shit, I see these Kids Discover magazines. What Kids Discover magazines are magazines that they get sent out to school teachers for them to have in their classrooms, and they're educational magazines about certain subjects, and different animals, places, scientific things, all that stuff. And I know that they're awesome, and I also knew that they were worth something. So I dug through that bin until I found 41 magazines of these Kids Discover educational magazines. And, I asked straight up again, but before I was leaving with them, hey man, is it okay if I take these? Because these are really awesome. I remember these magazines. And the lady's like, oh, please do. Yes, take them. And I'm like, you don't want anything for them? No, please, no. I'm like, okay. So I took them. So there's 41 magazines that it spans between 1992 and 1999. And I put them in a lot, put them up for sale, and I sold them. Really pretty close to when I sold the Coke machine, which is pretty weird, but true. But I sold them for $45. A little over $1 per magazine. I paid nothing for them. So that's why it's the biggest return on investment. I mean, the Coke machine was a 13 times, or what, 1,300% return on investment. But this is a more than 4,600% or 4,500% return on investment, because I didn't pay anything for them. They let me have them. By the time it was all said and done and I paid for shipping, I mean, we still walked away with a solid $30 profit. After I paid fees, I paid to ship them. They're heavy, so it's not free to ship them. But I still walked away with $30. I paid nothing, man. Pretty awesome. Definitely the coolest deal that I've ever had on that. It was really pretty neat, and definitely enjoyed that quite a bit, and definitely one of my favorite sales ever. And it's funny because I was talking to my wife about both of those products, and she's like, "You did that. You found both of those things." Because she's had great things she's found and we've sold too. But she often says to me, "I don't understand how it is you know how much some of these things are worth before you even look them up." And I said, I don't know. I just know. Maybe it's the sickness in my head that's so captivated by, consumerism, that I recall easily that things are valuable for no apparent reason. I can see something, even if I've never even seen it in my life, and go, I bet that's worth some money. And I just have that ability. It's not a superpower or anything. It's kind of an illness, to be honest with you, because it does affect me a lot now, especially. It's like keying in on something that probably isn't entirely a positive. I have a head full of useless information, and I've said that so many times. Trivia nights, we've gone to trivia nights, and I just kill. We went to one at the high school, and we're with a group of people, and there were at least 3 answers. Well, there were lots of answers I gave the correct answer for, out of a series of like 15 questions. But there were 3 distinct answers that I gave the answer for that were correct, but people chose to give a different answer, and then later found out that I was correct. And I was the only person that said those answers at the table. There was 8 of us. I don't know how it is I know that shit. I don't know how it is that I can remember Kids Discover magazine. I don't know how it is that I know that's worth money. I don't know how it is that I sold a bunch of crocheting magazines that I found in a Ziploc bag at a Ben's store, and I knew they were going to be worth money. I have no idea, but I did, and I did sell them. I bought them for $1.75 and sold them for like similar amount to this. So I don't know. I don't know why it is that I can look at stuff and somehow know it's worth money. Now, my wife and I both have gotten good at, when we're looking at clothing, we can tell by the quality of the clothes. I mean, it's not to the point where I can run my hand along a rack of shirts and be like, oh, this one's worth a lot of money. But I'm almost there. I can glance through a rack of shirts and go, oh, this one's worth something. This one's definitely worth something. I think I've heard this brand, and pull out at least one out of those 3 or 4 things that is worth a lot of money. That happened just a couple weeks ago. I found a t-shirt by Imogene and Willie. I don't know how I remembered that brand name, but it was only $10. I sold that thing for $50 on eBay. I have no idea how I just remembered that, recalled that, especially with all the shit in my head right now as far as reselling goes. But I do have that ability to pull that information up and recognize that it's worth something. So that is fortunate for me, and I'm very happy that I do have that ability. I'm very happy that it's worked out for us and been good for us, and I hope that continues. I don't see why it wouldn't. That's all I got, guys. I appreciate you listening. I know I ranted for quite a while. Geez, this is probably an hour long, this episode. But everything that I've talked about here is correct. I will fill you guys in more when I know a little bit more about these glasses and what's going to happen. Not that you really care, but I like to keep up on the latest tech. And so that's why I was so into this. In addition to that, like I said, I was really interested in using them for this business venture. And actually using AI to help research a product and its benefits, and then help research a product and its value has been amazing. And I really have a tough time now using the camera app or the barcode app on eBay to do the same thing. It kind of sucks, to be honest with you. I don't like using it. I was using a lot of Google Lens, so you can open up Google and there's a little picture of a camera up there by the search bar. You can take a picture of something and it will find it for you and give you a rough idea of what it is and how much it's selling for. That's great most of the time, not always. But I will tell you, Perplexity Pro has been fantastic at it. It fails, 1 out of about 200 times it fails, but not fails, just doesn't go in depth as much, or doesn't hard identify something like you might hope so. But you put in a couple things in there, maybe a style number or something, and it finds it. So yeah, AI is the way to go when it comes to researching these things for resale, for sure. Been very successful with it. So anyway, I'll let you guys know more. Talk to you in a couple weeks. I'll have more sales and more stuff to talk about at that point. My homeboy, Doug Sells, he is getting ready to unleash his website, I believe. And he is also going to be doing a podcast. Now, I'm planning on having him on this podcast and just he and I just talking about some stuff, maybe sort of an interview, discussing things. And I'm hoping he'll do the same, and we'll be able to share that and share listeners and grow, a little bit. Because I know I don't have a lot of listeners. That's not why I do these podcasts. I do the Dad Snark podcast, and I've been doing it for 6 years or more now. I do it because it's really a form of therapy for me, to be honest with you. It's been really good for me to talk openly about certain things and get things off my chest and discuss things, not discuss because I'm the only one talking most of the time. But it's been really good in that respect to come clean, This podcast here, it's just fun to talk and shout out loud about how things are going with this resale business and how interesting it is. And just, it's really, I sent something to Doug today. I'm hoping that's his real name. I think it is, Doug Sells. But I sent something to him today, and I was talking about some different things, and I said, hey, man, it's interesting. I do want to have you on here, and we got to figure that out. I'd love to have you on here and talk about this. I'm hoping you'll do the same, and we'll share, and hopefully we can both enjoy a little more attention and inquiry and professionalism and knowledge in regards to this game we play, because that's what this is. This is a game to me, and I'm winning. Now, I'm not winning in a landslide. I don't really want to win in a landslide. I want to sell everything I have. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not looking to become a millionaire or to quit my job to do this. I'm looking having some success and getting this business to a certain point where all I have to do is replenish stock and I know it's going to sell. That's what I'm shooting towards. Now, Doug is a little different. He does want to do this full time and all that. So his is a little different. So it'd be a really good dynamic between us, I think, discussing this situation. I'm closer to retirement than he is. So eventually, at some point, my wife and I both will retire. And we'll probably spend more time doing this. But I'm hoping by that point, this thing is just working on its own. And we're just there to help refill stock and inventory. And it's just going to sell, We'll see. That's what I'm shooting for. Supplemental income and a hobby. We enjoy sourcing together and going to thrift stores and garage sales and stuff and buying stuff together. And it's something that we enjoy doing together, and we get to spend time with each other and we have fun doing it. It just so happens we can actually make some money off this too, and it'll be great to make some extra money and have it to, go on vacation or to repair some things or buy some things or whatever in the future. But getting it up and running requires a lot of money, all the way down to paying for a monthly payment to eBay so that I can have a store on there. And then we bumped that up to a higher level. It was lower, but we raised it up since we had more products. And then paying for the shipping goods and stuff, even though that's built into the cost later to ship items. It's not something that you can buy when you have to ship something. You have to have it before that. Buying the label printer, prints the labels, costs money. Buying a scanner to scan all the receipts costs money. Your time costs money. There's a lot of aspects of this that cost money. I have some stickers that have been made that I put on each package before I ship it out. Those cost money. They're not free. So there is overhead that you have to build into the situation to get the business up and running. And that's really what we're focusing on, primarily me right now. My wife's very busy, man. Her job is extremely demanding. Not that mine's not. It's just different. Mine's less hours per week, even though it's full-time. And it's less stress. And her job is a high-stress job. And it is more hours. And she does get paid a lot more. Really triple what I get paid. And I make a lot of money. Almost triple, not quite. And that's fine. I want her to focus on that until she's ready to retire. She also does a lot of volunteer work. She's a Girl Scout mom and has been for over a decade now. And then on top of that, she's also part of the Booster Club at high school. My daughter graduates this year, so that's going to end. My daughter will be out of Girl Scouts come this late December because she'll be 18. So that's going to end this year. So some of that volunteering is going to go away. So then she'll be able to help focus a little more on the business. But I have a lot of time, and I do want to spend time on it because I am anxious to get this up and running to where it just naturally makes money in the future. That's what we're after here. So Doug is after something different, and that's fine. We have a similar interest, and it'll be good talk and good banter, I think, between us. And he's a great guy. We get along really well, and he's going through some things in his life and some changes that I've gone through. I'm aware. I'm not that much older than him, but I am older than him. So I've been through it, done that, right? And he's doing real good, man. He's a real smart guy. He knows a lot of stuff. He's taught me a lot of things already. And I definitely appreciate this newfound friendship with him. I'm hoping someday we can meet and hang out. Maybe the wife and I'll take a road trip down to Memphis, even though I want to be careful where we go because I know it is dangerous. Not that Kansas City's not. But maybe we'll do that and go down there and meet him and his girlfriend, and maybe we'll go out to eat and hang out a little bit. And that's a cool idea to me, really cool. So I do plan on going to Planes to Profit next year also. Originally, when we went and everything and we came back, we thought, maybe we won't go again. I don't know. But I do plan on doing that. I think it'll be a good thing to go every year. I think it was pretty fun. And I am hoping that that I can do that again next year. And it'll be as much fun. And I'll learn as much as I did, this year. And I'll also be able to offer more information to people next year. That's what I'm shooting for. I hope I don't end up in a bathroom at a pizza place with Pops from Grams and Pops and end up seeing another dude standing at a urinal with his pants and underwear all the way down around his ankles peeing. But who knows? Maybe next year it won't be game weekend for Nebraska football. That's a shout out to you, Pops. All right, guys. You guys take it easy. I'll talk to you guys again in a couple weeks. I appreciate you listening this long. And, keep on keeping on. Thanks.